Hi there, Capricorn. Here is the in a nutshell version of your astrological forecast for the whole of 2013. And if you want to know things like when the Mercury goes retrograde, then you can find that written up on my website. But I'm going to start off with Mercury because Mercury is doing something a little bit uncharacteristic, staying in one sign of the zodiac for quite a long time, going into Pisces February the 6th and leaving April 14th, and for some of that time, about 3 weeks of that time, Mercury is going to be going retrograde, which tends to cause hold-ups, delays, misleading or information, or in fact cross wires, and you're wondering where things are because they haven't arrived yet, or people or whatever. So anyway, this is going to activate your communications area. It's to do with vehicles as well, and communications equipment like computers, but also other types of equipment, and this may be causing delays through those during the retrograde period. But in general, your thoughts, your conversations, your correspondence will be very much centered around the communications area, maybe media, maybe to do with education, maybe to do with moving around more, maybe very much you in the stream of information exchange, mixing, mingling, making connections, gathering information, disseminating information, learning stuff, and you know, kind of making mental notes all the time. And it's in a good angle to your sun sign. Now there's going to be two solar eclipses. One is in Taurus, the other one is in Scorpio. The one in Taurus is happening on May the 9th, and that will open the door to good change coming in through romance, through anything which makes your heart sing. You know, it's very, very sort of light, playful area that this change can be coming through. It's a creative area. It's a speculative area as well. So it might not be about romance. It might be to do with some kind of enterprise, some kind of venture. It might be to do with a leisure activity or a hobby. It might be to do with children as well, because it is actually the house of children, young people. So whatever it's about, it's in a very good angle to your sun sign. And if you put your put your intention and take a step in the right direction on the day of the eclipse itself or just before, then you will set up that, because the wave of the eclipse will go out over 6 months, you'll set up that intention over that time, and to allow, almost like, you know, to allow the crystals to coagulate into the shape of what you'd like. And then the second solar eclipse is happening on November the 3rd, and that's in Scorpio, also in a good angle to your sun sign, and this will signal new beginnings through your friends, your associations through group or a team, or over the net, or just something progressive, something that you've been waiting to get on with, and you've been you know, it's been held up or left, you had to leave many years ago, and now you feel as though you could start to pick up the threads of that and go in the direction that you want. It might not be many years ago, it might just be a little short time ago, but just a very progressive area, but also an unconventional area, and an innovative area, and an area connected to very much to your social life as well, whether that's in a working context or in your personal life. Now, astrologically speaking, as one of the cardinal signs, Capricorn, you may have noticed there's been an awful lot that's been thrown at you of late, especially you earlier Capricorns. But I have to say the whole of the sign of Capricorn has experienced having the triple whammy. Saturn now has actually gone out of that area, but you later Capricorns would have felt the bluntness of Saturn, the spanner in the works of Saturn coming later, in late 2012. So there's still a lot of planetary action which is triggering you into change and into doing things in a way that you didn't think you would ever have to. But the good news is that Saturn has left the building, as it were, and has gone now into Scorpio. So just from the level of your sun in Capricorn, it means that there's less pressure on you, but you still do have Uranus and Pluto to contend with. However, without the badded sort of, the added, I was going to say bad cop, putting the boot in of Saturn, maybe not so much putting the boot in, but making you try ever such a lot harder, then things over 2013 are going to look brighter. And Jupiter's going to be coming into your opposite sign as well. So the picture is going to be a bit easier, I think, than in the last 2 years. And Saturn's now gone into Scorpio. But Pluto and Uranus are still affecting us all globally, and they are responsible for the meltdown that's going on and the change and the upheaval and the disruption. It's affecting the whole of the world, because that is the material manifestation of that vibrational wave that is sort of just like a standing wave that is affecting us all, and the way our societies are run. Venus is going to be in your sign for a very long time, Capricorn, which is very good news, but it's not happening for quite a while. It's not going in there until November the 5th, 2013, but it will stay there until March the 6th, 2014, which is, well, you could really make hay where the sun shines with that one. It will definitely give a boost to your love relationships, your family relationships, depending on, of course, your own attitude, because it will work, you know, to its fullest and best extent if you're open to the loving vibration of Venus, the balancing vibration of Venus. But also it's a planet of money, and it can mean that you start to do better materially, very much so from there. And if you want to put in for some more money in some way, or invest in something, then that would be a good period to do it. Other transits have got to be in the right sort of balance in your natal chart, but in general I would say that would be a good time to do it. And financial matters could ease over that period, but it's a very long time away yet. Mars is going to be in at the top of your chart for a very long time, but that again isn't happening until December the 8th, 2013, but will stay there until July the 25th, 2014, and this could be you getting into supercharged hyperdrive with anything related to your general life direction, but also your career, and getting a lot more dynamic to do with life targets and general, you know, what you'd like to be achieved, and definitely a time for you start to make pivotal decisions. You start to be more of a you beginning to be more of a self-starter there, but more on that as we get nearer the time. Jupiter entered Gemini on June the 11th, 2012, and will stay there until June the 25th, 2013, when it will enter your opposite sign, Cancer, and will stay in Cancer until July the 16th, 2014. So until mid-year, Jupiter's in a helpful area as far as your health is concerned, but also your work, your sort of work methodologies, your techniques, the strings you've got on your bow. So it's a good time to be training and finding out how to use your abilities in more or different kinds of ways, or with different types of equipment or different sorts of setups. And that could improve your employability, if that is such a word, your job setup. You know, it could just mean that you are more appreciated for what you can do and the way you can do it, but you've got to make sure that you're up to speed with things as well. And you should be learning new techniques, yes, definitely during this time. And you generally get approval from employers, bosses, during this time for your contribution. Also, you can do well through who you know in the work arena, you know, because they could give you a sort of a recommendation, or put a good word in for you, or just help you to understand how to do something, you know. And also or vice versa, you could be seen more as a consultant person, or rather advice giver, but also as a consulting or a consultant person in your area of work. More the wise one who's got, you know, the right sort of witticism at the right moment, or the sage words, you know, in somebody's ear. And then from the 25th, Jupiter goes into your opposite sign. That will mean that the way to growth is opening up through who you know, and particularly in close alliances, whether that's in your personal life or in your professional life. And because of certain associations, your horizons are going to broaden. Others will begin to be more interested in your take on things as well. Certain others in close relationship, they will think, wow, you know, what a lot you have gleaned and learned from your world and from your slant on things, and vice versa. You will very much appreciate their slant on things, and it will be quite a learning curve through who you know in your personal life but also in your professional life, and you get a broader perspective on things. And there could be travel coming in here related to one-to-one type relationships, and connecting with those at a distance. And definitely all the natives of your sign will feel the beneficial influence of Jupiter, because it's going all the way through Gemini and then on into Cancer up until 20 degrees over the year. Saturn entered Scorpio, as I said, on October the 5th, 2012, and will be there into 2015, and that is good news for you because it's now in a more sympathetic angle to your sun sign. It's a very opportunistic angle, and she is in a more helpful frame of mind when it comes to helping you build good foundations for yourself in your life. And that's more than you've had from any of the slower moving planets for a very long time, Capricorn. But this now demands that you put a steady flow of energy into into progressing your life, into networking, into cultivating people, and into maybe understanding better the hierarchy of a social group, whether that's a working one, you know, the pecking order, or whether that is actually in your personal life. And establish yourself gradually. You gradually get a toehold. It's like the goat, you know, your sign is the goat. The careful little goat steps up the mountain, and you will gradually establish a credibility, or gradually establish an understanding, and then decide whether you want to be there with them or whether you don't. Because actually something about this position of Saturn means that you may be moving out of one group of people and moving into another. So definitely a time to be on the lookout for useful associations, and then start to build a new world through these new and useful associations, and without being too mercenary. You know, the others who can, if they don't know themselves, then they know a man who does, and that can help you with your goals. You Capricorns born 24th of December to the 11th of January, or between 3 to 21 degrees Capricorn rising, going to feel this energy most over 2013. Uranus continues in a hard aspect to Pluto over 2013, as I mentioned, and you've got Uranus at the root of your chart and Pluto in your own sign for more years than the Uranian transit, which will be up until 2019. And the life-changing effect of Pluto continues to be felt through your sign, and you'll have probably read and heard a lot about this, and you should be coming from a deeper, more primitive, primeval part of yourself when you're making choices, when you're trying to decide which is the best way to go and how is the best way to proceed, and cutting away the fluff, you know, really getting down to basics, and you are evolving. You are very much the phoenix rising from the ashes of the old you, and the old expectations, and the old standards, and the old paradigm, the old incarnation. And what more can I say? It's very, very radical. And so you Capricorns born 28th of December to the 2nd of January, or between 7 to 12 degrees of Capricorn rising, likely to feel this vibration most strongly over 2013. And that's it for 2013. That's the overview in a nutshell, and I wish you very, very much love and cheer and warmth and friendship over the festive season, and I will see you the next time.